Okay, so a new video here on Patreon, and today we're gonna be talking about sparks and like doing like car stuff. So in my other video, you can see we did like a car animation basically, and we rendered it out. But a lot of people were asking, how did you do the sparks? And it's actually fairly simple, and I'm gonna show y'all how it's done. So yeah, you can see how it sort of nudges the ground there. That's where we want the sparks, you know. So let's check. It starts intersecting at like 51. So we are actually going to basically have an emitter parented to the car and have that emit the sparks, and we're just gonna time it so it's emitting sparks only when it's touching the ground. So yeah, we're gonna add in a cube, because why not? And let's just place it sort of where we want the sparks to get emitted from, and we just Control P it to the car and keep transform. I'm actually gonna apply screencast keys. Yeah, okay, so we are gonna hide this later basically, but if we go to the particle systems, you can add a new particle system, and look at that, we got some cool stuff. But you have to make this a collision plane, because like this is probably how it looks right now, a little funky. But you want to make this a collision, and it will look like they will now interact with the ground, which is kind of cool. You could probably do tire marks with that. That's interesting. I don't know, man. We'll have to do this. So basically what I want is the particles to only appear at 51 and stop appearing at 63. So you can actually do that in the settings. So let's check that. Frame start 51 and end 62. Yeah, you can see it sort of leaves one thing here. It's kind of weird. But yeah, it's like fairly simple. So I might just place this a little higher up so we get some more interesting stuff. But I feel like it's really sticky. The ground is like, I think it should kill the particles, because like as soon as the sparks hit the ground, they should just die. So it's a little weird, because they just are like in one place. It looks a little weird. So I think we can just increase the velocity or something. Like you can randomize the velocity and just bring the normal up. Let's see. Oh, that's too much. That's a little too much. That's still too much. Randomize to 1 then. Yeah, there you get some like interesting results. But why? Oh, it's going through there. Oh, it's going through the car. That's a little funky. So I could probably actually model like a rough version of the car so that it can have something to collide with, you know? Because it won't just face through the car. That's a little unrealistic. So I'm just gonna block this roughly out and just do this. Yeah. And we'll parent this to the car as well, and make it a collision. And like just check kill particles. That looks a little weird. Yeah, maybe not kill particles. That's still weird. Let's have it just make sure it doesn't go through the car like that. So we get these very like clear lines. I think it's like emitting too much stuff. Like it's too even, you know? So let's do object velocity. That's cool. That's kind of cool. So I don't know, we'll just go with this for now. Just make sure that you bake your simulation. Just bake and make sure it's baked. So you can now delete everything else, and it will still interact the same way. And right now, if we try to render this, you can see we have a big ugly cube And it's actually pretty simple. You just uncheck show emitter in the render and show emitter in the viewport, and it will just disappear. And to make these like actual sparks, it's not too hard. Wait, what's going on here? I already see sparks. Is that because I already did already did this? Come on. Oh yeah, I already have. No? Two different ones. I'm confused. I'm seriously confused. You can see there are clearly sparks on the ground. What if I hide? Look at those sparks. Like there are sparks there. Oh, it's from another one. Yeah, because I did okay, sorry guys. So basically, I've tried to record this tutorial a few million times, and I just forgot to hide the other one. Just don't worry about it. This should work. So basically, what you want to do is you want to have a particle. You want to make an object and then instance every particle from that object. So we want to make one spark essentially, and a cube should be fine. Just gonna make it like really small, like this. I don't know. Yeah, that should work fine. And let's make it a new material, spark. And we'll plug in emission into the surface, and we'll crank this to like 50 or something. That's a lot. Maybe scale it down and like set it to 20. And if we want to, you can just add just a tiny amount of yellow in there. Okay, so we have our spark. We'll put it there. I'll call it spark. So what we want to do now is I'm just gonna move it to a new collection. The spark you don't have to do that. It's just easier to find. So if you select your object, you can go into the render and select object, and you can instance that spark you just made. And if we check, you can see that we have some sparks, and it looks kind of weird because oh, that's too much. Let's do 0.1. You can change the scale if you want to. It will look better with motion blur. So if I render an image right now, you can see we get some nice sparks. That's too. Oh really? Yeah, it's too small. So yeah, you can mix around with the settings here. Let's do 0.3. See what happens. Yeah, here we have some sparks. That's a lot of sparks though. So yeah, you can do whatever. Maybe have some randomness scale. And yeah, that's basically how you do sparks. You can do that for like anything. And it's really nice to just add a little extra touch to your scenes, in my opinion. But I'm gonna render this out now, and I'll show y'all the result.